good morning. Happy New Year. I hope that everyone had a wonderful break. They were able to rest, recharge, enjoy each other, spend time with family and friends, and again to enjoy everything that was break. I know Bronson and I really enjoyed it. I got to go down to my dad's, see my brother, my dad's wife. The only downside is my dad's wife's from Canada, so we weren't able to connect with her family because we're not able to go across the borders yet. So we were able to do that virtually with them. It was great to see their grandkids. They're really cute, and they have a lot of fun. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Our week this week, or I should say, not even this week, but coming back into the school year, we're almost a third of the way through school. At the end of this month, we'll be halfway through school, which is crazy, but we are now starting our fraction unit. To start ourselves off, I'm just going to go over some fourth grade skills over today and tomorrow. And then I'm also handing out your new math book today and tomorrow for Alpha and Omega. Distance learners, your books will be in the office this morning and you can pick them up. You'll need to pick them up by Wednesday so that you can have that for Wednesday's lesson. Wednesday's lesson is the first lesson out of the book. Monday and Tuesday this week, we're going to go right into review of fourth grade fraction skills, and then we're going to shift into fifth grade fraction, new fraction skills starting Wednesday. So we'll need the books for that. Okay, so that's the game plan. So for the exit ticket today, I'll have like my own self-created sheet, but let me just show you. So let me minimize myself so I'm not so distracting. And you can see I'm going to do a mini lesson based on last year's end of the module test. So I just want to see what skills you do know, which skills are solid, which ones are still needing some development so that I can best help you move through the fifth grade skills. So if we take a look at the first part, I'm not in the same tool, so I'm not in Active Inspire, so I have to use the Adobe tool. So just give me a second. So let's read the first part. Partition the tape diagram to show 5 groups of, and that's what I really want us to remember. Anytime you see that 5 times or anything times, that's going to show us how many groups of 2/3 we want to see. Partition the number line to show 10 groups of 1/3. Well, if we have 5 groups of 2/3, right? Let me actually pause this real quick. My apologies. I had to bring the document into Active Inspire because the tools in Adobe weren't reading my stylus as well as I'd like. So let's give this another try. So remember, we're going to talk about that as groups, 5 groups of 2/3. So I should make 5 groups in my tape diagram and show 2/3 in each of those. Now, I know that 5 groups of 2/3 is same thing as 5 groups of 2 apples, so it's 10 apples, so it's 10/3. Now, how do I show that on a number line? Well, in the number line, I need to break each part into thirds so I can show 10 groups of them, right? So then, remember, the whole numbers are 3/3, 6/3, and 9/3, and 12/3, because every time, 12/3, every time that we have a multiple of 3 or 3/3, we have a whole number. So every time we have 3/3, 6/3, 9/3, 12/3, 15/3, you can keep counting up, right, by threes. So how do I show 10 groups of 1/3? Well, I can just show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10/3 is going to be over here, right? And I can show that that's 10 groups of 1/3. And I know that 10 groups of 1 apple would be 10 apples, so it's 10/3. So it says use the models to explain why 5 groups of 2/3 is equal to 10 groups of 1/3. And how would you explain that? Well, the models show and I should say the models show. Both are equal to 10 thirds. Now the question is, which one of those makes more sense to your brain? I like doing it with the unit fractions, breaking it down. And when I say unit fraction, I hope this was talked about in 4th grade or that it's ringing a bell. Anytime I say unit fraction or we say unit fraction, we're talking about one of whatever the denominator is. So whatever the whole is broken up into, we're talking about one piece of it. So whenever I say unit fraction, I'm talking about one piece of the overall unit. So thirds is our unit fraction, I'm talking about one piece of those. So I like this method because I feel like it's just simpler and easier to use. Now, we have to be successful with both, but my brain easily works with the unit fractions, okay? All right, so that's part 1 of the lesson. So we'll see how you do on that type of question. Expressing the knowledge of the math problem in a model, whether that's a number line or a tape diagram. Now it looks like we're going to be comparing. So it says fill in the circles below with less than, equal to, or greater. Nope, sorry. Yeah, no, I had that right. Less than, equal to, or greater than to make your true number sentences. Wow, Mr. Briggs, 2021 is hard to read this year. Let's get back into it. Use decomposition or multiplication to justify your answer. So decomposition, breaking our whole numbers into smaller parts, or multiplication, making our smaller parts into larger pieces. So we'll show both ways. Well, when we look at A, seven whole, no parts, just 7 whole numbers. And we're comparing that to 43 sixths. So we have to either multiply to see how many, convert the 43 sixths to a mixed number, or we convert the whole number to a fraction. Now, I like converting the whole number to a fraction. I feel like it's a little bit easier because I know the unit is sixth, right? So I have 7 whole numbers. So I am taking 7 groups of 6 sixths, because what do we know about 6 sixes? What is that equal to? Well, that's equal to 1. So basically what we're saying is 7 times 1. That's what this math sentence over here that says 7 times 6 over 6. We're not changing it. 7 times 1 is still itself. So all we're doing is we're just renaming it, decomposing it to a different unit. So we're just cutting each whole into 6 pieces. Well, nothing's going to change to our unit. It's still 6, but 7 times 6, that would give us 42 6. Well, 42 6 versus 43 6, well, now we can easily see that 43 is greater than 42. So let's keep moving on. You could have done it the other way. I could have done 43 divided by 6 to see what I would have gotten, and that would have been 7 with a remainder of 1. Well, 7 with a remainder of 1 is greater than 7. So we would make sure we still works out the same. Wow, language is hard. You can tell I haven't talked into a microphone all break. All right, let's look at B. 11 1/3 versus 34 thirds. Now, once again, I like to convert the whole numbers into the fractions. So I'm going to take 11 and I'm thinking about it as thirds. So it's 11 times 3/3 because that's just saying 11 times 1, but we're just renaming it. So that's going to be 33 thirds. Once again, once we convert it, it's pretty easy to see because the thirds kind of cancel each other out. And now we're just working on 33 versus 34. Because once the units are the same, we're comparing apples to apples, right? It's not apples to oranges, it's thirds to thirds. So once that happens, we could do that. But did you see my mistake? I hope you did. It's not just 11 thirds, is it? 11 3/3. It's 11 1/3. So really, I should have added back that other third, which would give me 34 thirds. That one's actually equal. Okay. Now, there's a lot of times where I make mistakes on accident. That one was actually on purpose. I had that one planned. So just be careful with that one. All right, now they're both fractions. So what do? Oh no. Well, we can decompose the unit into smaller units is what we can do. So we see that we have 13/6 versus 38/12. Is there a way to make the unit, so now we're only looking at the bottom number, the denominator, the units, to find out if we can make them the same? And the question, I'm going to quickly draw a tape diagram. And let me just draw 6 here. So that's thirds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was way too many. Let me try that again. Let me do it the right way. Let me cut it in half. And then I need to cut these in thirds. Yeah, there we go, Mr. Briggs. Is there a way to cut 6s into 12s? Is there a way to make 6s into 12s? And the answer is yes. And what did we have to do? We had to cut each one of those 6s in half. So we're multiplying that by 2. So when we multiply a fraction to rename it, we have to do whatever we do to the bottom to the top. So we said we're converting this into 12ths. Well, if we had 13/12 or 13/6 and we converted it to 12s, well, we would now have 26/12. Now that we're in the same unit, let me erase so I can see 26/12 versus 38/12. Well, the answer is going to be, oops, 38 is always larger than 26. Good. All right. That is what I'm going to be creating there's only one page of it. I must have not brought in all the pages. That's interesting. But that's all I'm going to ask us to be practicing today. I'm going to have I might throw in a couple questions that are a little tricky just to see what you got. But for the most part, I'm going to ask you to be comparing and expressing your knowledge of breaking down fractions. Okay, so please contact me if you have any questions. You can do the exit ticket on a separate piece of paper, take a picture of it, and submit it. So no worries there. So I also noticed I watch a few YouTube channels this break, and I realized I need a tagline at the end of my videos, not like a like and subscribe and turn your bell notifications on if you enjoyed the video, but I need something. So if you guys have an idea of what I could say at the end of every video, that would be great. That's something that I'm trying to think of so that we can have this nice little tagline at the end. So if you like that, like and subscribe to my video, and I'll see you guys this week. I'm excited to see you guys. It's going to be a great new year. We're almost halfway through the school year, and we're doing so well. So keep it up. We're really proud of you. And get a hold of me if we need to. All right. Great job, guys.